Natural hygiene. Its theory in one form or another is the basis of most natural health systems. It's not what I teach, but it is a good way to understand more about the basis of natural healing. It's become an overall or catch-all term for treatments and systems of health and beliefs of health that are as different as night and day. Natural hygiene maintains that health is the personal responsibility of each individual and that vibrant health is achieved only by conscientious application of healthful living practices in all areas of one's life. Here are some of the natural physiological laws of life. Just as we have gravity and we have laws in our physical universe that the earth goes around the sun in certain revolutions, the body really has, of course, these most orderly processes by which it does business. And they are the most beautiful way to understand because they absolutely make absolute sense, and they really teach you what is a good health practice and what is not. It helps you to distinguish. We're going to start with some of the laws. There's 16 that I have here written, and I'm just going to cover a few so that you can see the beauty of and the truth that's behind these. They're a reflection of the natural laws of life, the physiological realities of bodily function. We start with the first one, life's great law. Every living cell of the organized body is endowed with an instinct of self-preservation, sustained by nerve energy. And that's what I talked about. You have to have the energy. So that's called nerve energy. That's the key to the whole thing. The amount of energy is relative to the amount of activity and the demands upon it. So that is really real basic. In the law of order, the living organism is completely self-constructing, self-maintaining, self-directing, self-repairing, self-defending, and self-healing. The law of action. Whenever action occurs in the living organism as the result of external influences, for example, what you eat or what you don't do or what you do, the action must be ascribed to the living thing, which has the power of action, not to the dead thing, whose leading characteristic is inertia. So in other words, you take a pill, is the pill doing something to your body? No. Your body is acting in response to the pill. So actually the living thing is what is doing the acting. Let's get rid of that whole idea that a pill did this to me or that sort of thing, or treatment did this to me. No, your body's reaction to it, and that in that process, usually your body is expending energy. So again, you may be reducing your amount of available energy by taking a pill, because that pill then requires your body to respond, and it depletes the energy of the body. Again, the law of power. The power employed and consequently expended in any vital or medicinal action is vital power. That is, power from within, and not from without, not from the pill or the whatever you think. In the law of distribution, the power of the body is distributed in a manner proportionate to the importance and needs of the various organs and tissues of the body. How wise! Of course the body is going to distribute whatever little tiny bit of nutrition you may be allowing it. Well, if it's very small, it will just put it where it's needed. And the body really deals with so much toxins and things that we do and don't do, and it makes the very best of all its conditions. It's a beautiful thing. In the law of vital accommodation, the response of the vital organism to external stimuli is based on self-preservation, which adapts or accommodates itself to whatever influence it cannot destroy or control. So that would be accommodation or tolerance. If there's so much toxin coming in, their body it sets itself to that level that it can accept that amount of level. And then if you increase it, it's going to get sick again, and it's going to eliminate that. But if you keep it up at that high level, again, it will accommodate to it. Doesn't mean that it's well, it just means that it's reset its level to accept that level of poisoning. Then there's the law of selective elimination. All injurious substances which gain admission into the living organism, those things that you end up taking in or that get into you, they are counteracted, neutralized, and expelled as fully as the body nerve energy supplies allow, so as to produce the least amount of harm to the living structure. Again, what beautiful sense the body makes. So if you take nothing else away from some of the things that you learned, how about this one? Healing is a process accomplished by the body and only the body. That is the core principle of the natural hygiene. The body almost always acts in its own best interests. Hey, brilliant. There are rare exceptions, but this rule holds true 99% of the time. When a person becomes acutely ill, many uncomfortable and distressing symptoms develop. You get sick, right? But except in rare occasion, these symptoms arise from the vigorous expression of the healing powers that are within the body. The body is trying to eliminate. When it eliminates that waste material, whether it be from the intestines, the lungs, or wherever, it is because the brain determined that health would be improved by such elimination. Attempting to suppress such symptoms with drugs only serves to make one sicker, not healthier. This is an important law, really important as to understanding what effects drugs have on you and everything that you do in life, actually. It's called the law of stimulation or dual effect. Whenever a toxic or irritation agent is brought to bear upon the living organism, the body puts forth vital resistance. The body puts forth vital resistance. It manifests an action once accelerated but also impaired. This action diminishes the body power, as I've said, as the available supply of body power is diminished. So when you take your drug or your pill, the symptoms are reduced. The body powers are also reduced. The short-term effect is opposite to the long-term effect. Let's take the example of coffee. Coffee is a drug. It doesn't give the body energy. It causes the release of stored energy from the body. Actually, it accelerates the heart rate and it pumps you up. Your body, in response to wanting to eliminate it, wants to get rid of it as soon as possible. Understand that stimulants actually weaken the body because the short-term effect is of speeding up your physiological process, but the rebound or the long-term effect is that of innervation. No external substance, there are no cures, there are no treatments that heal you, nothing that can give energy to the body. The energy output which follows the use of coffee, laxative, stimulating treatments, or any medicine whatsoever, that energy output comes from the body, not from the drug. You can't say it enough. And the hygienic care of flu symptoms, or the better natural care of flu symptoms, is another example. Feel terrible while your lungs and sinuses are discharging large amounts of waste material. The intestines may eject material from both ends with vomiting, diarrhea, whatever. The short-term feeling is, I feel awful, severe illness. But the long-term effect is often that of better health. You never notice how when you go through a flu or a sickness, you feel really great afterwards? Yeah, your body's, I'm rid of that toxic event. I'm rid of that toxin, just has gotten rid of it. So drugs and surgery, should be used only as last resorts. Drugs are powerful chemicals, all of which have negative side effects. 100 changes in body function could follow the use of a drug. We call them side effects, but they're not side effects, they're real effects. And out of these 100 effects, one may be desirable. The desirable effect, that is the effect of the medicine, that suppresses a symptom. The other 99 side effects are usually undesirable, but they're actually poisoning effects, and so is all of it. It's poisoning effects. And nothing that you do in poisoning yourself can possibly really produce health. It's impossible. Drugs do not build health. They suppress symptoms at great cost, often at great cost. Turning off the fire alarm, the symptom with the drug, will not extinguish the fire, which is the cause of the symptom. There are cases where drugs are useful, but probably as much as 90% of the time that drugs are used, more harm than good results. So these are some of the principles of natural health, and I hope that you can take some of these home and consider what you're doing and the effects it might have on your body, and consider getting yourself some good information and some re-education so you can bring your body to its highest and best natural health.